In today's edition of Pantherology, we are going to talk about my 5 ambitious Carolina Panthers training camp predictions, all in today's video, and you're watching Pantherology. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another edition of Pantherology. Welcome to today's video. If you're new and you're tuning in, welcome. My name is Clay, and I try to put out as much Carolina Panther content and NFL content as humanly possible. Also, if you're not new to the channel and you're tuning back in, thank you and welcome, and I appreciate the support. Guys, people always ask me, how can I show support? Well, you can start off by pounding the fuck out of that like button, pound that subscribe button, comment down below, and click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. But if you just like and subscribe, that is good enough for me, and watch the video. I can't ask much more than that. No giveaways, quick announcements. As always, go check me out on the Newsbreak app. Link is down in the description. Go download that and go check it out. Quick intro. Just going to go ahead and dive into today's video. We got a long one. I have some wild predictions for the Carolina Panthers at their 2021 training camp at Wofford College in Spartanburg. Now, the Panthers are preparing for a very crucial training camp ahead of this 2021 season. Now, under Matt Rule, there is a rising feeling of confidence about the team's possibilities in year 2. But they will need to establish chemistry fast in order to generate any momentum early when competitive action really begins. Nobody had an easy summer last summer. Due to COVID limitations, OTAs were held virtually, no preseason games were played, and a typical training camp was hosted at Panther Stadium, Bank of America Stadium, due to safety considerations, right? Now, thankfully, that will not be the case this time. Carolina will return to Wofford College in Spartanburg for this year's camp, which will be hot and humid and very rigorous. With some advantageous matchups early in this schedule, this should ease their transition into the regular season. So here are my 5 ambitious predictions for the Panthers training camp in 2021. No particular order. We're just going to go and talk about each prediction one by one. And the first one we're going to talk about here is the Carolina Panthers will add a seasoned safety to their roster, which this is more of a hopeful prediction, but the Panthers are interested in acquiring an extra 8 at the safety position at some point, I think. They looked at Clinton Dix at mandatory minicamp, but did not make an offer to the player. But whether the company will ever look in his direction again is another story. Now, there looks to be a little depth behind expected starting pair Jeremy Chinn and Justin Burris. Experience is lacking in Sam Franklin, Kenny Robinson, and the versatile Miles Hartsfield. So, by any stretch of the imagination, bringing in another possible candidate would not be the worst idea in the world. I think someone like a Kenny Vaccaro or a Malik Hooker would be a big boost over what Carolina presently has in their rotation. Both could even advocate for the position that begin with a smooth transition. Number 2, Terrace Marshall Jr. will be promoted to wide receiver 2 for the Carolina Panthers outside option. Terrace Marshall Jr. was handled with considerable caution by the Carolina Panthers during rookie minicamp, OTAs, and the required minicamp that followed. He's recovering from a recent injury, so the best option was to wrap the wide receiver in cotton wool to guarantee he's ready to go throughout training camp. At the 59th overall pick, Marshall was an opportunity that the Panthers could just not pass up on. They had more pressing requirements elsewhere, but when a great talent is dropped into their laps like that, they made the decision to shift course. Curtis Samuel left the Carolina Panthers in free agency to join the Washington football team. After signing with the Seattle Seahawks, David Moore is expected to occupy the third position behind DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson prior to training camp. However, I think there are great expectations that Marshall will surpass him on the depth chart. This isn't going to happen until the transition to the new setup goes well in the next weeks. Marshall has been on the outside looking in due to injury, which means he'll be playing catch up to some level when the LSU product actually enters the field. Now, some believe Marshall will assume this position. However, in the NFL, things do not always work out the way they're supposed to or expected, and the rookie must battle hard from the start in order to get significant snaps, right? Given his stature, though, and ability to create mismatch, Marshall might even be used on the outside. Anderson's ability to get open fast gives him an appealing slot option in this scenario. Number 3, Davionnn Nixon will be the Carolina Panthers' third defensive tackle. Now, normally expecting a 5th round choice to become a key component of the rotation in year 1 is a difficult request. The Carolina Panthers, on the other hand, may be an exception to the rule in 2021. Now, Davionnn Nixon had a 2nd round grade when he started the assessment process. He had character issues about the Iowa product, deterred most clubs from choosing him, leading in a precipitous drop down the pecking order before the Panthers snatched him up at the number 158 overall pick. If the defensive tackle was searching for more incentive at the next level, he's got it. Nixon enters training camp with a large chip on his shoulders. It wouldn't be surprising to see him take off during team exercises and the repetitions that come his way in preseason games. Derek Brown and Daquan Jones are Carolina's starting players. Bravion Roy, who impressed in 2020, should also play a role. However, if Nixon performs well this summer, he has a chance to become the primary backup option and crucial rotational component. The skill is undeniably presented that was never a doubt prior to the draft, but according to sources, keeping Nixon on the straight and narrow may be a challenge. But under Matt Rule, the Panthers have demonstrated a willingness to take chances on guys like this, both in free agency and the collegiate level. Nixon must now return their trust by producing on the field and behaving well off the field. My next ambitious prediction here is that Taylor Moton will be moved to left tackle for the Carolina Panthers. It's astonishing that the Carolina Panthers have yet to strike a long-term deal with standout right tackle Taylor Moton, who was rightly extended to a lucrative 4-year contract only hours before the franchise tag deadline. The Panthers' offensive line has some big problems to answer. They will once again be relying on a mismatch of inexperienced rookies and veterans who have underperformed recently, with Moton being the only player who has shown any consistency in recent years. Now, Matt Rule indicated that he does not want to transfer Moton to the blind side during obligatory minicamp. However, considering Carolina's present choices, it won't be long before this idea becomes more plausible. If Moton is moved to the left side, here's how the offensive line would appear. Taylor Moton at left tackle, then you have Pat Affline or Dante Brown at the left guard, then you have Matt Paradis at center, then you got John Miller at right guard, and then you probably are going to have Brady Christensen at right tackle. So it's not quite the world-class offensive line, but if the inside lives up to its end of the deal, it might not be that awful. One issue with Moton being named their left tackle is that he may not be as comfortable there as he is on the right side. So Carolina may opt to maintain an exceptional edge defender at one position while taking a chance on the blind side with someone else. Last but not least prediction here, Sam Darnold will have a strong preseason performance. Throughout training camp and the preseason, I think all eyes have been really on Sam Darnold and not on really much any other position besides the left tackle. The quarterback is hoping to show that he was a victim of bad coaching, while with the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers are banking on his skill to shine through with more weapons surrounding him. Darnold has done little to justify his selection as the 3rd overall pick back in 2018. Even with a clear pocket, his hesitation and decision-making have been noticeable throughout his 3 years at MetLife Stadium. So it will take a significant shift to change current impressions. It will be critical to get Darnold as many repetitions as can in preseason games without compromising his health. The more synergy he can establish with his new comrades, the higher his prospects of success. This is also a situation in which mistakes can be committed with little consequence. Now, Darnold has to get rid of some poor habits on the field as soon as possible in order to hit the ground running when the actual action begins, and there is no better opportunity to do so than during preseason games. Darnold should embrace this new beginning with confidence and disregard all that has come before. If he can pull this off, the signal caller should put up some amazing statistics in the preseason. So, that is today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I told you it was a long one, and y'all know what to do. Keep pounding.